Connecting the community through gospel. The new 107.9 FM, W300EB, Macon, and WDDO 980 AM, Perry, Macon, Middle Georgia. No one does it like the Glory. 107.9 FM and 980 AM, WDDO.
This is how I had a wreck, and this is how I got my check.
All right, get a check. All right, get a
Call
check.
Farsby Johnson and Associates, 478-257-6266, 478-257-6266, and get that check.
Homestyle breakfast, good soul food. Wait, that sounds like food that we eat at Mother's. Yes, it's Mother's Breakfast and Barbecue, 2146 Pioneer Avenue in Macon. Come experience that motherly hospitality. Open Monday through Saturday from 8 until 3 p.m. and Fridays until 4. Lunch specials are from 8 until 9. Breakfast $6.99. Shrimp and grits and much more. Call today, 478-259-6308. Drive-thru is available. Mother's Breakfast and Barbecue. Middle Georgia. No one does it like the Glory. 107.9 FM and 980 AM WDDO. The Glory 980 AM WDDO is sponsored by B. Scott Legal Solutions, specializing in family law, criminal law, and general practice. Looking for a way out? Let B. Scott Legal Solutions figure this out. Don't allow your situation to entrap you. Call 833-4B-SCOTT. 833-4B-SCOTT. 833-427-2688. B. Scott Legal is ready right now to help you and your family find a solution. Call now. B. Scott Legal Solutions. Join the presiding moderator, Dr. Walter L. Glover Jr., and the Greater Zion Hill Missionary Baptist Church at their new time, 9:15 a.m. until 10:15 a.m. every Sunday morning on The Glory, 980 AM WDDO. The moderator invites you to join him this coming Sunday at 9:15 a.m. It's AM and FM, how you heard it in the old days. The new 107.9 FM and 980 AM WDDO, The Glory.
Trials come on every hand. They come to every girl, boy, woman, and man. But trials worketh patience, and patience worketh hope. While you hope and wait, I say, on the Lord. Anybody gonna wait? I say, on the Lord. Oh, trials come on every hand. They come to every girl, boy, woman, and man. But Romans says trials worketh patience, and patience worketh hope. While you hope and wait, wait, I say, oh, Lord, anybody gonna wait? I say, on the Lord. I wonder will y'all help me sing? but wait on him. The word says they that wait upon the Lord, they shall renew their strength. Wait on him. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. Wait on him. They shall run and not be weary. Wait on him. Oh, wait on the Lord. Wait on him. Oh, wait, yeah. Wait on him, yeah. Wait on him. Your waiting ain't long. Wait. You ought to wait on him, yeah, yeah, yeah. Wait on him. I know it seems like waiting is hard, but wait. Oh, endure, yeah. Wait on him. Is there anybody gonna wait, yeah? Wait. Oh, wait on him, yeah. Wait on him. Just wait on him, yeah. Wait on him.
The views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of the Glory 980 AM, the Glory Media Group, LLC, WDDO AM, its staff, management, or advertisers, but are the views and opinions of the participants of the broadcast.
It is now time for the live broadcast of the NAACP with Gwynette, WESTBROOKS, and Mr. DUMAS.
Good evening, audience. Glad to be here today. We're going to have a little discussion about a few things today, not just one topic. Last week we had a topic in reference to an eviction, but we have several things that we need to talk about today. First of all, we want to talk about getting out to vote. And it is so critical that we do that. For the listeners who's listening today, whether you're riding in your cars or you're at home, we have to spread the word and make sure that we make sure that people are registered to vote. And then we need to make sure that they get out and vote, get to the polls and vote. And I tell people all the time because, in the business that the NAACP is in, we get a lot of complaints for different reasons, whether it's criminal, housing, but all of this has to do with voting. And people say, well, Gwen, how does that have anything to do with voting? Because a lot of these things that are going on in our communities, there are bills that have been put into law. And you have people in our state legislature and even in our executive level that they sit and they make decisions for us, and they vote on things that may not be for the best interest of our community. And so that's why it's so very important that we have to stay connected unto what's going on in our community and not just wait till something happens to you. Because like I said, everything that deals with you on an everyday basis has to do with people voting, because a lot of these things are put into law. They become bills and then they become law. So, I just don't know what it's going to take for people to realize how serious this is. I hear, young people, when you talk to them and they're like, well, it don't matter. Your vote don't count. Well, no, it don't count if you don't vote. And so we've seen that where when people vote, what can happen when we get out vote. Bibb County is the majority of African Americans, or we say black people, that are registered to vote. And then when it's time to vote, people don't get out and vote. And so we got to focus on targeting areas and ages where we're having problems seeing people at the polls. People, I'm telling you, this is so...
Connecting the community through gospel. The new 107.9 FM, W300EB, Macon, and WDDO 980 AM, Perry, Macon, Middle Georgia. No one does it like the Glory. 107.9 FM and 980 AM, WDDO.
This is how I had a wreck. And this is how I got my check.
All right, get a check. All right, get a check.
Call Farsby Johnson and Associates 478-257-6266 478-257-6266 and get that check.
Homestyle breakfast, good soul food. Wait, that sounds like food that we eat at Mother's. Yes, it's Mother's Breakfast and Barbecue, 2146 Pioneer Avenue in Macon. Come experience that motherly hospitality. Open Monday through Saturday from 8 until 3 p.m. and Fridays until 4. Lunch specials are from 8 until 9. Breakfast $6.99. Shrimp and grits and much more. Call today, 478-259-6308. Drive-thru is available. Mother's Breakfast and Barbecue. Middle Georgia, no one does it like The Glory. 107.9 FM and 980 AM WDDO. The Glory 980 AM WDDO is sponsored by B. Scott Legal Solutions, specializing in family law, criminal law, and general practice. Looking for a way out? Let B. Scott Legal Solutions figure this out. Don't allow your situation to entrap you. Call 833-4B-SCOTT. 833.
Okay, here we go again. So back to what I was saying is that we have to make sure that people get out and vote. We can't afford to stay at home. We can't afford to make excuses why we don't vote. I was talking to a young lady today, and one thing, a lot of these, some of these positions, they don't have opposition. They don't have anybody running against them. So that's why they stay in these positions for year after year after year, because nobody is running against these people and they don't have any opposition. So that's a big issue also. And so on my way here, I was talking to a young lady that told me that she went to court today, and basically the property manager came into court and said that she just didn't want her there anymore. They're getting rid of everybody that's in the on the property, old, that's been living there, and they just want everybody gone that's been living there. So this kind of came from when the mayor Macon, Lester Miller, Mayor Miller, actually sued the Green Meadows. And when they sued Green Meadows, what they did was they had a receiver that was actually handling the business of Green Meadows, because they were in court. They had them in court. They say because of the different the crime and the 911 calls that they had received. So they actually filed a lawsuit to take that over. But see, people are still, and some tenants and people still thinking that the mayor still has receivership, and that is not the case. And so how I found out, I was trying to help a tenant a while back. And so what they did was, the lawyer told me that they were not no longer in receivership, because when the Green Meadows, I guess, owners filed an appeal, everything stayed. So that means that nothing, the receivership was no longer there. So the property manager basically doing what they're on. But see, nobody has addressed that. Has not been addressed in the media, in the public. So now these people are just being put out. When she went to court today, she said, the judge said, what's the reason? She said, we just want the old people out. We don't want new people there. We just want the old people out. So, but let me just say this. And I know I talk about housing a lot, but people got to understand that when you are homeless and you don't have anywhere to stay, that is something very serious. And so we're seeing a lot of things that's going on with housing. I just don't know what it's going to take for them to put something in place for these judges and for some of these homeowners. Homeowners and renters, they're very good renters. They're very good homeowners. They rent their places out, and they're very good. But you have some people that are not, and so we just gotta educate ourselves on our rights, because a lot of us go into court, we don't know what our rights are, because everyone has rights. And so it's a little different with HUD and with Section 8. You can't just tell somebody you don't want them there. You got to have a reason. So now this person is homeless, and then now you got people who know that if you know you're not if you're not if you're not trying to if you're not trying to help yourself, then they think that you don't want to, you don't care. And so that's what I'm saying. We got to band together. I'm saying tenants, we got to be educated when we go in these courtrooms. A lot of times people go in the courtrooms and then they don't know, they go unprepared. And something that I was saying last week, sometimes people, the property managers file a complaint for one thing, then they go in the courts and then they talk about something else, and then they go along with it, and then they evict these tenants. But and this is what I'm saying. This is why we need to vote. Just listen to me for a few minutes and just listen to me and see this makes sense. So we can't get Medicaid expansion passed here in Georgia. Georgia's one of the few states that still has not adopted Medicaid expansion. So during COVID, we had a lot of people that were dying from COVID, people that had insurance, people who did not have insurance, did not have health care. And like I said, people can say they don't treat you different, but they do. Why would we not adopt Medicaid expansion during that time when you had people dying? You had people, I had a relative that, had Medicare, was treated, sent home, and died the next day from COVID. So just imagine how people are treated without health insurance. And so this is why we gotta vote, because you're not just voting for the mayor, you're just not voting for, and I see Kara Spain is on here today and she's commenting. Thank you, Ms. Spain, for tuning in. So this is so very crucial, people. If we don't get out and vote, I'm just saying it is right here in front of us. It's right here in front of us. We see it. Everything that you're doing, somebody had to be voted in, and these people are not voting for the interests of the people. A lot of them are not. And so I was reading something earlier today that came on Newsbreak, and it's dealing with healthcare, and it's saying how a biased test kept thousands of Black patients from getting a new kidney. And so when I was reading this article, it's just really saddened how we are still we're still being discriminated against, and especially when it comes to health care. And it was just saying that there's a test that's done. It says here that this person had been waiting on a kidney for 4 years, and her hospital revealed shocking news that she should have been put on the transplant list in 2015 instead of 2019. And a racially biased organ test was blamed. And as I was reading on there, it tells how this formula that they use to determine. It says that issue is once widely used test overestimated how well Black people kidneys were functioning and make them look healthier than they really were, all because of an automatic formula that calculates results of Black and non-Blacks patient differently. That race-based equation could delay diagnosis of organ failure and evaluation of a transplant. It says that already disparities that already make Black patients more at risk of needing a new kidney, less likely to get one. And so there's this test that's being done to make it seems like Black people are really healthy when they're really not in their need. And so now some change, this is being brought out, and now some changes are being made. But just imagine how many people who needed kidney transplant, and they use this test for for Black people to not be able to get. And I'm reading here, it says between January 2023 and mid-March, more than 14,300 Black kidney transplants candidates have had their wait times modified by an average of 2 years, according to the United States Network for Organ Sharing, which runs the transplant system. So far, more than 2,800 of them, including one of the persons that they interviewed. But this is just an example of a larger problem dealing with healthcare. So they're using formulas to decide who's eligible for a kidney transplant and who's able to get one, which is it shouldn't be. But then now they're modifying it and they're making it right. But just imagine how many people probably have died not being able to get a kidney transplant. So this is dealing with healthcare, and it's so this is so serious. We gotta start reading more. We gotta start being involved. And like I said, all of this stuff has to do with voting. Now, what we're gonna be doing, I just want to give y'all the information. We're gonna be having town hall meetings to educate this community on things that they should know about. We're going to be talking about a lot of different things. I'm not going to go into what we're going to be talking about, but we're going to be talking about a lot of different things in these meetings because, and which is going to be something kind of like not a workshop, but we're going to be dealing with a lot of different voting and a lot of different things so people can understand why they need to vote. You have someone that's in our state representatives or whoever that's in the House and won't vote for people to have safe housing and making sure that people are not wrongfully evicted. But then they hurry up and pass this immigration law, and so it's just not making sense when you have something that you have people there that doesn't care about everybody. They just care about some people, and that's the way they're voting. And then we letting it happen because we can make change if we just get out and vote. I promise you we can, because the statistics show that the majority of people that are registered to vote are African American. We're just not voting, and we got to vote. We got to stop complaining and do something about it. I want to talk about we had a meeting. And so some of us, it was a forum. Some of us attended the forum here last week, the forum, which was the commissioners forum that they had, that we partnered with the Women's Voter League and other organizations. And so, it's just concerning to me. We had, it was sent to me a comment from my mayor, and it was really disturbing as to, what he said. And so a lot of people have already seen that email that went out on Facebook. Until the one I seen had been edited. But the type of language that he uses is not acceptable. It's not acceptable. He's in a professional position. And so, again, like I said, we have to make sure when it's time to vote, then we need to begin out voting. We got judges sitting in places that nobody runs against them, and the same judges are sitting there, and people are being evicted and wrongfully evicted. So we got to stop complaining, calling me complaining and not voting. And I can't tell anybody, make anybody vote, but if you're not registered to vote and you calling me about something that is dealing with housing and criminal justice or whatever, those are the type of laws that are being passed at the Capitol on a daily basis. Things that we need to be concerned about. These people are not passing it. They're not passing these bills because it doesn't interest them. And so again, we just want to make sure that we get people out to vote. We will be start phone banking and we will be also doing some canvassing, and we got to go in. We got to get into the jails. There's a lot of people who are registered to vote that may not that want to vote and want to but not able to register to vote, not knowing that they can vote while they're incarcerated as long as they have not been convicted of a felony. So I'm going to switch back off the topic for a minute because I'm going through quite a bit of stuff that we wanted to discuss today. There was a bill passed also dealing with federal sentencing. Some people have effective February the 1st, and I'm trying to look up this bill that was passed. I needed Patrick today, but he maybe he'll tune in a little bit. He's the one that normally puts us on the right track. But it deals with people that are in federal prison that may not and that have not committed any violent crimes. They are allowing these people to petition to get out of court, similar to something that President Obama did, where people are able to get out of jail. And so, we got people, back at a time a while back, you got more time for drugs than you did killing someone. And so what people are really realizing is that when people are incarcerated, it costs the state a lot of money to keep inmates housed. And at one time we were trying to, get them to look at all this stuff, and they wouldn't want to look at it. But now it's costing the state. Whatever reason why they're doing it, I'm glad that they're doing it, because people, do need second chances. And so I think this was a great opportunity, but for whatever reason it was, I'm glad that people are being able to get out of jail, especially with those that don't have nonviolent crimes. A lot of times they're either drug related or something like that. And so that's what we don't understand. People don't understand that you can get into trouble, and it's a state case, but then the feds have jurisdiction over anywhere, and so they can pull that case from the state and have it brought to federal court, which they give you more time. If you have a gun and never used it, they give you more time, give you a lot of time just for having a gun. So we just got to keep updated on the laws and make sure that we understand what the laws is, because the laws are not there to protect us. They're there to incarcerate us. And so we just got to make sure that we research and look at things, because when I deal with inmates that are on probation, and then they go to court, and then sometimes it's for something that they may not have done, or sometimes it's for something that they may have done. But my concern is that we have people that are incarcerated with nonviolent crimes, and they're revoking their probation. They're revoking their probation. And so I'm not saying that people shouldn't be punished, but you shouldn't have someone sitting in jail for 3-4 months for not reporting the address change. And what I'm finding out is and I know people say different things, but when they tell you that you need to be there a certain time and you're not there. So we just got to make sure that when you are sentenced, you need to read everything. You need to, don't let your lawyer, you can listen to your lawyer. I'm not telling you not take legal advice. What I'm saying is sometimes people explain some things to you, and then they miss a lot of the fine print. And then you're thinking one thing is one way and it's another way, because you have the paperwork saying that this is the way it's supposed to be done. So I'm seeing that a lot with a lot of people that are being incarcerated for just a technicality, and those are things like not reporting or don't report your address change and different things like that. People are actually going to prison for that, because like I said, the state has jurisdiction over everywhere, and so they can pull these cases from state court into federal court. But people, like I said, the time is winding down. People are are tired of, people are tired of being told that they violate their probation, and then they may send them down the road, and then your family can't get to you. So, it's really strange. And I'm just telling people not be there for your family. I know sometimes people get frustrated, and then some people don't even hear from their family members, but you got to stay connected with your family. And saying sometimes that's all that they have is family. And I know sometimes people get frustrated and they get tired, but people don't care nothing about your family if you don't care anything about your family. I want to give a shout out to Miss Maxwell, who actually did an interview, and I'm glad she did do the interview so people can really understand who she really is. As you know, the NAACP is nonpartisan. We don't endorse either candidacy, but we want to make sure that people have a fair right to be able to run for office if they want to run for office. So we want to congratulate her on that. We have different people that are on the ballot. We have there actually, I think 3 people running in District 9, but other than the person that the mayor appointed. So we just gotta stay strong. We gotta sometimes we have to self-educate ourselves because we're not educated on a lot of things, and you have to self-educate yourself, because there's no way possible that we should be going through some of the stuff we're going through with these evictions in our criminal justice system. I was reading earlier today about where our legislature passed a bill to make it easier for tenants to file evictions against squatters, and it's not making sense to me how a squatter can take over someone's home. And I guess, like they say, they would make up false documents and submit those documents, and people are having to pay bukus of money to be able to get these people out of their houses. And so I just don't understand how somebody can just move in your house and you haven't invited them into your house and just take over your house. And it may happen. I'm not saying it don't happen, but it's really sad that we've gotten to that point where people do things, and so we're letting people just do anything in order to get to be able to get what they want to get. How is it? They're saying that the squatters have more rights than they do in their own home, so it's not making sense to me. And people now saying they have some relief that this bill has been passed, because it's not making sense for you to have a home and you can't get somebody out that you didn't invite in. They're living in your home. And so we want, again, we want people to join this organization. This is a very, this organization has been around for since 1909, and we've accomplished a lot of things. But with your help in joining us for the fight, we need all hands on deck, because the devil is so busy. The devil is busy, and sometimes he places us against each other. When that's what they want, we got to be able to come together, because that's what I see a lot of times. We as Black people don't come together when it comes to different issues in our community. We got to stand together, because, and I'm not being sarcastic, but every other race comes together and they stand together when something needs to be done or something that needs to be happening. I don't care how much they talk about each other. I don't care what they say. They're gonna, at the end of the day, they are going to unite, and that's something that we lack in. We will not unite with each other to make sure things are done, because we're worried about who's in charge, and I do know a lot of times people don't want to accept Black women in position, but it needs to happen. And so let me just say this: for all the people that are listening to this show today, You need to get all your documents together for if you're renting. You need to get you one place to put all your documents in, because who knows, it may be you next week that's being evicted, because so that they don't have to have a reason. They just go before the judge and tell the judge they don't want you to stay there. No, so you're fighting the law's battle. And that's why we got to stay visual in these courtrooms, because there's a lot of things going in the courtrooms you can't see if you're not there, because they're not going to tell you. And the membership is only $30, $30 a year. And so if you join like April 1st, your membership won't be due until May 1st of next year. And so it's every year. So we just want to make sure that we have a huge fight ahead of us with the Voting Rights Act and being dismantled. We got a lot of things that we got to do, because if we don't do it, nobody else is going to do it for us. And so I just ask for you all to make sure that when it comes time to vote, then we actually get out and vote. This is so very serious, you all. We don't know which way we're going. And it's so very serious on a state level, on a executive level. We have to do better. We really have to do better. And so let's get these town hall meetings started. We want people to be able to ask questions, but we're gonna a lot of times when we'll have someone, some type of expert, someone with expertise to talk about the discussions that we want to talk about, because a lot of times people have these type of discussions and we never actually get all the information. And people, we need to know what we need to do to be able to band together and make some things happen here in Macon-Bill. I see my time is almost up. I just want to make sure that we stay prayed up for our city. We have it's just like a war out there. We want to stay prayed up for our city, because our city is actually going through something now. So just stay prayed up, and I'll see you next week. Just tune in, and I'll see you next week.
Come join us
Thank you.
next Monday at 4 o'clock p.m. on 980 WDDO.
The views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of the Glory 980 AM, the Glory Media Group, LLC, WDDO AM, its staff, management, or advertisers, but are the views and opinions of the participants of the broadcast.
Connecting the community through